All right. Hello and welcome to Robert Jean Smith. How are you today?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Been a busy day already, working with clients and an interview. So I'm excited.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here. Just to start off, could you talk a little about your own health journey? How you ended up trying all these different modalities
Mhm.
before you ended up coming to creating Faster EFT? What was that process?
Well, I think my journey basically starts with not really health, but emotional health is health. And most people
Hmm.
don't realize that. Of course, I think the real start of it really we started at the beginning was, I was like 15 years old. I was born in a normal dysfunctional family that
Hmm.
functioned perfectly well. And I went to Louisiana to work with my aunt and uncle, and I discovered something that wasn't at home, and that was peacefulness.
Hmm.
And of course, I was the oldest of six. My dad had a lot of angers. He was my stepdad. When I came back to Louisiana, back home to Oklahoma, I said, I don't want to live here. I want to go back to Louisiana. Life was better. And of
Hmm.
course, my mother at 15 gave birth to me, which made my grandmother 34.
Hmm.
Grandma always wanted me to live with her. And she said, you can't go to Louisiana, but I'll let you live with grandma. Well, that's when the nightmares started. I started having a lot of nightmares about it was about my dad, it's about the world. It's kind of strange, but I had a dream that I killed my dad, and then the old lady on the other street, which I didn't know. It's not like I actually saw it, but it's that feeling. And so, of course, my grandmother at the time, which is still today, she's 96 years old,
Wow.
and she she's Christian, always at the church. And so she bribed me to drive the car to and fro church. So I did the church thing. And of course, I had these torments. It didn't work. I did what the guy said. So I started studying the book myself and discovered that, you need to be a student of truth and applying truth. And it just led me down a path. And then I found and my grandma, since I was the only child now, because everybody else was there. So um, I had my own bedroom, my own telephone, and I still had these nightmares. And so there was on TV this encyclopedia called Psychology Today, and there's all these different ones. And I started reading it and learning about psychology. I don't know which book it was. I'll say 16 or something. And it was a sexuality one, and they mentioned erogenous zones. Well, I'm 15 years old, girls on the radar.
Mhm.
And so one day I was at a bookstore and I saw erogenous zones, a book about erogenous zones.
Mhm.
And so I bought the book, brown paper bag, took it home, closed the door, locked it, started reading it. And it wasn't about those parts that I wanted to learn about. It was Wayne Dyer's Your Erroneous Zones.
Mm.
This book actually started angling my thinking about myself, about why I have problems. So
Mm.
then I started searching about the mind, hypnosis, etc. And, fast forward, 18 years old, 19 years old, 22 years old. Um, my wife to be was at church. And before we got married, she said I was sexually abused as a child by my father. And of course, I was, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know how to help. I couldn't even help my own stuff, much less hers. So I just said, no big deal. We'll move on. Well, this stuff boiled up in our relationship, especially about 18 years into the marriage.
Mm.
And it actually because my daughter reached the same age as when she started getting abused. So then I wanted to help her. Of course, so
Mm.
here it is. I have my own stuff,
Mhm.
but I thought if I could help her, my life would get better.
Mm.
And so I actually bought a tape series and Anthony Robbins, Your Unlimited Power.
Mm.
And that was actually educating me how the brain works.
Mm.
And that's what really fascinated me because one, I love my wife. I want to help my wife. I want to help my kids. I want to help me. This opened the door to understanding mental mechanics, why we're messed up. Are we really messed up? And how
Mhm.
we have successfully created our problems, not
Mhm.
knowingly, because, we think that we're broken. There's something wrong with us. We're the only one, the black sheep of the family. And there was no way out. But this started educating me.
Mm.
And of course, at that time, I had a mobile home, 80 junk cars behind the home because, I was uneducated. I dropped out of college. By biblical studies, my major. I couldn't pass English too. I tried 3 times. So I
Mm.
thought, well, I just have to raised my kids, and my wife had a good job. I was a stay-at-home father, and I bought and sell cars. So this was my journey. My journey was to help not only my wife, but myself and my kids. And she had physical pains, lots of pains. It would move from here to there. And, one morning, I came into the bedroom. She's down at the foot of the bed, and she had pain, and before that, I did Anthony Robbins. I wanted to find someone who taught NLP. I didn't feel comfortable with the guy. And the one I said, can I talk about your students? He pointed at the tapping modality, EFT. From my trainings, I know that we are all successful people. We're successfully ill. We're successfully financially broke. Or wealthy, depends. And it's because the brain uses information to create. And so I bought, and then one of the ladies said, well, you should try emofree.com, which is Gary Craig stuff. And then I started watching this stuff. I already had the foundation of how the mind works, the mechanics of it, but this tapping modality was a new angle. And again, his belief system is not a healthy belief system. That means the cause of all problems is a disruption in your energy system. And basically, it's the same motif. The reason why there's something wrong with you is because inside you, something's broken. And I don't believe that. I believe that we are very dynamic. Our brain has a survival system that keeps us in alignment where we come from. So I kind of veered away from that idea. But this modality, a psychosensory process, why does it work? And it actually works very quickly in the hands of the person who knows what they're doing. So that's my beginning. And my whole purpose was not only to help my family, but to help myself. And she's at the foot of the bed, and she has pain in her stomach. And of course, she and I both watched the videos, and we're learning. And I said, have you tried tapping on it? She said, it hurts too bad. I said, can I help you with it? She said, fine. So a couple of rounds, the pain's gone.
Wow.
Why does that work? Why is it that you can tap on your face and say certain things and the physical pain fades away? That was my mission, to understand why the mind and how the mind and body work together.
Right.